So now I'm going to teach you about programming. And if this is the first video you're ever watching about programming, or if you haven't done much programming before, this is a great video for you to watch. This is going to be the first in a series of videos just to lightly introduce you to how programming works. And why is programming important? Programming is the new math, and programming is like the new language. It's the way that the world is being created and run today. And so if you know how to program, that's a super valuable skill, and that's going to translate to economic rewards for you in the marketplace. So it's really important to know how to program, and we're just going to get a light introduction to programming here. If you like programming, if you like what you see, you could Google Todd McLeod Udemy, and you could go and take my Learn How to Code course. You could also check out greatercommons.com. And so that's a website I'm creating that's going to just have a whole bunch of different courses, but that course will also be on there. That's going to be up soon. So if it's not up, go to Udemy, but go here first, greatercommons.com. All right, sweet. So let's get started with a little programming. We're going to learn the Go programming language. Go was created by Google. Google is the best software engineering firm to have ever existed, and Go was created by some of the best minds in computer science, luminaries in computer science. And so it is the best language to learn today. It is what is coming as opposed to what has been. Google created this programming language because all the other languages in the world weren't satisfying Google's needs, so they created a new language. It's the Go programming language. That's what I'm going to be showing you. So we're going to go to the Golang playground. And so you could just Google Golang playground, and I typed that in incorrectly, but it's Google, so it fixed it for me. And here is the Golang playground. Now when we're here, we're going to be able to write some code and run that code. So right now I could run this code, and it runs and it says hello playground. These are the results. And then I could also format this code. So if this code was formatted incorrectly, I hit format and it formats it for me. And there's also this import thing here. So if I have imports checked and I hit format, it brings my imports in for me. What is it importing? These are packages. Packages are pre-written code which you could use. This is the funct package, that's how you say it. And in the funct package, there are a lot of printing functions which we could use to print things. So here we're printing a line. Print line, and the line we're printing is hello playground. And this is just the syntax of how you write a program, right? So funct, from package funct, call the function printline, and printline takes one argument. That's what it's called when you pass an argument into some code. When you pass something into some code, it's called an argument. It takes one argument, it's a string, and we're printing that out right now. And if I wanted to share this code, by the way, I click share, and I could copy this URL. And well, that's not what I wanted, but I could copy this URL right there, and I'd be able to send that to somebody. So for this first exercise, first I'm just going to show you a little bit about what's possible, right? So one of the things which is kind of cool are loops. So for statement, and I could do an initialize I is colon equal to 0, and we're going to learn all about this in a second, or in a couple of videos. While I is less than 100, right? Less than or equal to 100. And then I plus plus was the incrementer. And so what this does is this is the initializer. It initializes a variable. This is the condition. It checks the condition. And then this is the post. And so it runs after the loop. And so from 0, right, it starts out at I being 0, so funct print line. And this is just FYI showing you the power of programming. But it starts out at I is equal to 0. I'm declaring a variable, and I'm saying that that variable is equal to 0, and then it's going to print 0, and it's going to come up here, and then it's going to add 1 to I. So I will now be 1. And so long as I is less than 100, it's going to continue doing this loop. And it'll go 0, and it'll become 1, it'll print 1, it'll become 2, and it'll print 2, and it'll become 100, and it'll print 100 as it goes through all the numbers. And then it'll become 101, and it'll say, wait, I'm no longer less than 100, I can't do this anymore. So when I run this, I'm going to format it first and then run it, right? It printed out all the numbers from 0 to 100, and then it printed out hello playground. So that's the power of programming. Like instantly you could have it do millions of things, and so that's pretty amazing. All right, but for this exercise, what we're going to do is we're just going to declare a variable. And to declare a variable, right, you give an identifier. So I'm just going to call this first name, and it should all be lowercase, right? And then the words, this is called camel case right here. So lowercase first letter, and then any other words become first name here, right? Like every other word becomes a capital. That's camel case. So first name might be the name of this variable. Alternatively, it's best to use short identifiers. FN might be what I call it, or I might just call it first, right? You want your program to be readable and to be clear, but you also don't want to have really long names for stuff, really long identifiers. So here I'm just declaring, my first name is Todd. And so I could come in here and now I could print out this variable first. And so when I run this, format it first, run it, it printed out Todd. And if I wanted it to be hello Todd, I could just separate my arguments with a comma, right? And so hello is the first one, it's a string, and then this one is also a string. And we signify that it's a string by putting double quotes around it. Or you could use backticks, which is up in the top left area of your keyboard for quotes. And backticks, are nice. If you wanted to include double quotes in there, then the backticks allow that, right? So I'd be able to run that. And it says, hello Todd, says hello, right? But all I want is Todd, so I'll just use double quotes. Hello Todd. So that's a first introduction to programming, and it's declaring a variable and assigning a value to it. And we do that with this short declaration operator, which is : equals, and it says take this value, which is of type string, and assign it to this variable, which is the identifier first. And I think that's it for your assignment. Create a program that stores your name in a variable, then prints your name, and upload a screenshot of program results for credit. So that's it for your first little foray into programming. Not too bad, kind of cool, and we're going to learn more about it as we go through this course. You'll get a few more light introductions to programming. If you like it, go to greatercommons.com and check out my programming course.